go in and get somebody. Mm-hmm. But these people just walking off into the woods in the middle of the night. You don't have to have a response for that, by the way.
Yeah, I don't care to think about that. Okay, honestly.
What about Daryl just jump scaring an armed person?
I didn't feel like it was really a jump scare.
Really?
I feel like he kind of crawled out of the bushes.
You couldn't do like a or something like that?
No, you could say, "Hey, Michonne, it's Daryl." Yeah. You could say something like that. You could,
or if he'd tripped and been like, "Bullshit!" Yeah. It's like, "Oh, it's Daryl."
Yeah,
they need a code word.
This bush is bullshit.
They need a challenge response system.
They do. They really do. It doesn't feel like this group is very organized for as badass as they are,
and for as many years they've been doing this.
Yeah, not super organized. Anyway, Daryl comes out of the bushes and he says he's with someone, but it's probably not Carol. I'm thinking it's not Carol.
It's a cliffhanger for cliffhanger's sake.
The fact that he doesn't answer the question, "Where's Carol?" and has kind of like a concerned look on his face, to me says that's not Carol. Whoever's coming out of those bushes.
I totally agree.
Okay.
I also don't understand why they make this a cliffhanger. This has got to be the dumbest attempt at a cliffhanger I've ever seen. What if it's Beth? What if it's someone we don't know? What if it's Morgan?
Then it just falls flat with a fart.
This is...
Or what if it is Carol? What's the point in that?
I mean, the cliffhanger is, if it is Carol, then I'm going to riot. I'm going to flip tables and be like, fuck you. But if it's one of the other people, show them the surprise is not who it is, it's how they got there and why. Yeah. Don't they understand that?
No.
I'm not tuning in next week because I need to find out who Daryl brought back. Yeah. The questions about
I need to find out how Daryl brought them
how
back.
And why in the story.
Yeah.
God damn. Why don't they get this, man?
I'm with you there. I don't agree with all of your complaints, but that one...
It's just like the Bob thing.
Makes sense, yeah.
Let's, we want to save the tainted meat part to open up the show.
But it doesn't. But neither of those work as well if you don't include both of them.
It's like they don't understand pacing. Like the whole, do you build gradually to tension and then you have a climax and release? I
don't know, man.
Doing a cliffhanger like this just I feel like fucks up the flow.
I don't feel like I could do a better job though. So what am I going to say?
Really?
What am I going to say?
Okay. I'd say it's Carol,
never made a TV
or it's
show.
Beth, or it's Morgan, or it's some mysterious stranger.
Well, if it's Carol, there's no reason to question how or why she got there. That would just be terrible.
Right.
But
I'm just saying
if it's Morgan, that would be kind of awesome, and then you would want to show that at the end of the episode.
Yeah, like
they did with the Morgan.
That's a teaser, which is different than a cliffhanger. That is interesting.
Yeah.
But that is like a non-cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
All right, well, that's it for the episode, man.
Yep.
Why don't we get to some feedback?
Well, first we've got to pay some bills, and a couple things you can do to support the Bald Move Empire. We've got Patreon, we've got Subbable, patreon.com/baldmove and subbable.com/baldmove. Patreon is where you want to go to get extra access. For example, if you're a top-level Patreon supporter, you could be watching this podcast live on video right now. Actually, not even right now, 2 hours ago. You'd have gone back into the past or future, and you could be watching it right now. How cool is that? Also,
back to the fast and futurist.
Also, ad-free. You don't have to be listening to me flapping my gums trying to tell you what you can do to support us anymore. You're like, I've supported you already, fucker. Get out of my ear holes. You can make that happen with Patreon. Or what if it's like, hey, Jim and Aaron, I want to know what you think of Sons of Anarchy. And we're like, fuck off, we don't watch Sons of Anarchy. You can go to subbable.com and be like, I'm clicking a button. You're watching Sons of Anarchy now, you sons of bitches. Boom. You can bring that pain, and you can do it on patreon.com and subbable.com. Check it out to see how you can support independent podcasting. Also, I know there's people that we drive crazy with our nitpicking critiques. There's other people that love it. And there's there's not a lot of podcasts. That's the thing. We're actually kind of positioning ourselves in worse shape by just telling it as we see it every week. Because the weeks when we're like, we love the season premiere, the quote unquote haters are like, you guys have gone soft. And when we're like, we really had problems with the episode, the lovers say, you guys are just hating to be hate. We would be an arguably more successful show if we just pick attack and go with it.
We're a lot like Tyrese in that way.
We're a lot like Tyrese in that.
The trouble with Tyrese is he doesn't have our method to the madness.
That's the thing. Like, if it was all just a lover cast, like if it was all just a Talking Dead type stuff, it wouldn't be a very interesting world. And I think we have if you haven't gone to patreon.com or subbable.com/baldmove, do it for the video alone. Because we have a pretty fun, I think, a funny take where we compare our coverage of the season 3 finale, which you and I were not a fan of, with what that would look like if we were an AMC sponsored show. So if nothing else, check it out and get a few laughs. Also, Amazon.baldmove.com. It still works, people. Jeff Bezos is a penny hoarding son of a bitch.
We're taking him down.
We're taking him down one penny at a time.
Yeah.
And we're taking him by the roll now. And he's running scared. He is running scared. He's got a fetish for copper.
Copper shortages at Amazon.
He will not let that stuff go. And you can help us drain him out. Clean out all his pennies by going to Amazon.baldmove.com. Same great products, same great pricing, same great shipping. No extra cost to you. Just bringing the pain on Bezos.
Yep.
All about the pain in this on this segment. Of course, you can always rate and review us on iTunes. That's how we get a wider audience. That's how we get bigger. And thanks for all that you do to support us. We really appreciate it. And now we will get to the feedback. Jeff M says, in your podcast, Aaron gave this is going back an episode. Some of these, it's like not often do I go back, but we got a couple of takes so strong that I had to go back to last week's episode. Jeff M said, Aaron gave Daryl some crack for quickly knocking out the tail lamps in the car that he and Carol found by saying that was pretty dumb because he should have been knocking out the headlamps instead. You guys then both complained about how the headlamps would come on automatically and that would give away their attempt to follow the car with a cross on it. He lowers the boom. I am an automotive exterior lighting engineer at a major U.S. auto manufacturer.
Oh, shit.
So I thought I would clear up something real quick. All cars allow you to manually turn off the headlamps. They are not all automatic. Could you tell me how to do that on a 2004 Pontiac Vibe? Because I swear to God, that'd be useful information. The automatic headlamps are a new and very common feature in vehicles, but you have to set the switch to automatic position for this to work. Most people just put them into this auto mode and never touch it again, so I could see how you'd imagine that this is the default. However, Carol or Daryl could simply turn the switch to the manual off position and drive incognito with no headlights. But Daryl was smart to knock out the taillights because you can't turn off your brake lights.
Yeah.
They are most definitely automatic and always on for good reason. By busting out the tail lamps, their car won't be blasting a red light behind them when they brake, which might give away their position. But even though this was smart of Daryl to bust out the tail lamps, all cars manufactured after 1986 are required to have a high mount stop lamp, which is that stop lamp that is in the middle of the car near their rear window. Daryl unfortunately did not break that lamp, so they'd be giving themselves away when they hit the brakes with this lamp. But good idea, Daryl. All right, we've been schooled, Jim.
Yeah.
I cannot argue automotive exterior lighting with an automotive exterior lighting engineer.
Neither can I.
It's just not going to happen.
You could. It'd be pointless.
So you win this round, Jeff M. Kimberly. Wait. I think I skipped somebody. Andrew F. There we go. Says, I have the comics, but I haven't read up to this point yet and wasn't made super clear in the episode. Was the reason that Gareth and his group attacked a church as quickly as they did because after they found out they had eaten tainted meat in the form of Bob's leg, they realized they were going to die and wanted to try to take Rick's group down with them first?
I don't think so.
I ask this because when Bob shows him he has been bitten, the rest of Gareth's group freaks out about the meat being tainted, but then this panic doesn't seem to come up again at all in the rest of the episode. I'm not sure if it's because Gareth was right when he told them that the meat wasn't tainted anymore since it was cooked, though. Honestly, this never comes up in the comics, too. There's less than an hour or two elapse between them eating the tainted meat and Rick coming to lower the boom on him. Pretty much just like this episode.
Okay.
So we don't have a clear answer either way. I don't feel like it was out of revenge. I do feel like Gareth...
No, they would have gone guns blazing.
Yeah, I do feel like Gareth was correct in his assertion that, or at least they believed he was correct in his assertion that cooking the meat thoroughly would kill the zombie virus. But more on this later.
Okay.
Kimberly from the beautiful Hudson Valley in New York. I get your reaction to Rick and company leaving the terms to go to the church. are leaving the terms to get into the church. The terms are not fighters. They were in a settled place for what seemed like a long time, so I don't really fault them for not being tacticians. But I really thought it was all about the symbolism of the moment when Rick's group walks out of frame and the Terminites walk in. They could have been the same group. Both groups are going to do the same thing, destroy the other group, right? I mean, if the show had us following the Terminites and we were with them from the beginning and bought into their psychosis, then wouldn't we think Rick's group were the brutal savages? Probably not.
Not if I have to buy into their psychosis. No.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the distinguishing feature.
But he's also so I don't know. I mean, to me, symbolism is all great, but it can't get in the way of storytelling. And if that's what they were going for, these groups are the same people, it got in the way of storytelling. Because, at least for me, I mean, the people that don't notice aren't going to notice good tactics from bad tactics. The people that do are going to, and you're fucking with us. So she continues, the moment when Michonne got her katana back was almost a sad moment for me, and I don't think she was happy to see it deep down.
Nope.
I did not get that at all, but you said you did. The fact that she was bittersweet about the sword coming back.
Yeah, she didn't want that sword back.
It makes perfect sense in light of her dialogue of last episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with the emailer.
I thought it was a more complicated reaction than that she had almost put away the person who used that weapon and was more in touch with her humanity, but then when she saw the katana, it was almost like a slap back to reality. No, I think that's a great take, Kimberly. Mr. Rock in the ROK said, one unspoiled take. You were curious about the spoiler-phobes take on an episode. Here's one. This is my favorite episode of the season. Yes, I found some aspects of it problematic, but these took me out of the story to a far lesser extent than aspects of Carol's Rambo rescue. And while I had suspicions that Rick and company would double back, I still enjoyed the tension in the church. Would Carl be forced to kill his first humans in his restoration of humanity? Would the situation force Tyrese's hand to do what he couldn't when no one was looking? How would Father Gabriel or Eugene handle the melee? Would Bob turn from within as danger neared from without? The only thing I suspected was the cavalry would return in the nick of time. The only thing I knew was that Judith would cry at an inopportune moment. So there is a person who was gripped by the drama in the church. And that's the thing.
And not gripped by the season opener.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with what went on inside the church once they were there. It's the getting to and the planning involved that really did not allow me to really immerse myself into the situation.
Sure. I would be super curious. I don't know if he wrote in when we covered episode 1, but I am curious why.
No, I'm sure he did.
Episode 1 didn't do it for him, but episode 3 did.
I mean, there's lots of people that just called bullshit on Carol Ramboing up, and the fact it only took one firework to blow up the thing. And
well, do you want to watch her shoot 4 fireworks? I mean, how many? It would take a lot of fireworks to try and hit that.
I don't know.
Because every firework is going to go off a little differently, with a little more gunpowder, a little farther, a little shorter. It's not like they're consistent at all.
I'm the wrong guy to ask, because would you care to guess how many times I put a firework down a tube and practice the angle and pretend artillery barrage
I don't know if you're
the number's
saying
not zero.
It's a high number or a low number.
It's a surprising high.
Okay, no.
You can buy 144 Moon Travelers for like 50 cents come 4th of July.
Yeah.
That's half an afternoon's entertainment just right there, man.
And from hundreds of yards away, you could hit.
Well, I'm not saying this is a Moon Traveler. Come on, let's settle down.
All right.
If I scaled up that Moon Traveler, yeah.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Glenn P. I'm not a comic book reader, so I loved it when Bob...
I stuck to Black Cats, by the way.
Black Cats.
Yeah,
so you
just
need
a little foaming...
You need to get propellant into the mix to really get your blood pumping.
Yeah.
Glenn P. I'm not a comic book reader, so I loved it when Bob revealed that he had been bit and even cheered a little for his bit of screwing up Garrick's little soliloquy. I hated that the little hipster D-bag, and I hated his smugness. I loved it, and I cheered even louder when they revealed the machete was on Rick's belt and his little no before he got hacked to bits. And Sarah's prison shanking of baseball cap was even better. Like I said, I'm not a comic book reader. I really loved the way the hunters thought they were outsmarting our heroes and thought maybe Rick was leading his people to go to the school to fool the hunters because he doesn't trust Gabriel, and I thought maybe he was working with the hunters. But at the end of the day, it's a show about the zombies, and maybe I don't put too much thought into the logistics. All the things you're talking about here were good. They're not the things I didn't like.
Okay.
The things I didn't like was how they got into the church and all that. You're right. It was badass when Rick hacked that guy apart with the machete, and it was cathartic to see Sasha just go apeshit on ball cap.
Yeah, I love seeing
do
Bob
what her brother could
scream,
not.
"I'm tainted meat."
Yeah, that
You're
was
eating tainted meat, you pricks.
That was straight out of the comics, which is why it's so good.
Sure.
I mean, what if he? So that's what I'm saying to people. Like, what if he didn't? What if he said something else? What if he just continued to sob because Kirkman really wanted us to get into the desperation of Bob and thought it would take the audience out if someone had a defiant reaction? Would you be sitting there and say, well, Aaron, the comics are the comics, the TV show to TV show? You'd be like, no, that sounds way lamer than the comic version. That's all I'm saying, man. I'm not talking bitching because it's different. I'm talking because I feel like it's objectively worse. But that's one man. That's just this dead man's opinion.
It's subjectively worse.
Megan B said, you may think I'm totally crazy, but I honestly think I'm starting to like Father Gabriel. It's nice to see someone who survived that side of the group, who's not as strong as they are. I almost feel like that he's, oddly enough, a pretty relatable character for a lot of viewers. I'd like to think that if I were in a situation, I'd be all awesome and badass like Michonne or Carol, but in all reality, I'd probably end up hiding for a while like he did. It sounds weird and cowardly, I know, but what you gonna do?
Nah, it sounds like most people's reactions, I'd imagine.
First off, you're totally right. Something I spend a lot of time thinking about. What do I do in that situation? Second, it's super awesome this show has 2, 3, 4 badass women she could have said about, instead of trying to, stick with, think about season 1. Would you be able to say, I would like to be all awesome and badass like Lori? Like Carol,
Andrea?
Like Andrea? No. I do feel like this show is pretty awesome in that regard.
Yeah.
That there's tons of ass-kicking women, and I love it. Michael H. said, oh man, this is the first of many people having a lot of disturbing insights into the eating of human beings. And I love it. Michael H. said, I was interested in a discussion of the viability of cannibalism as a source of food. So I consulted my daughter's roommate, Hannah, who is a senior at NYU studying nutrition. I thought you'd like to hear her thoughts on this.
Sure.
According to Hannah, human flesh should substitute for animal's flesh as a rich source of energy and nutrients. You're correct that high temperatures, between 120 and 150 degrees Celsius, should destroy all harmful agents in the tissues. It would have had about the same nutritive content as animal flesh, so you'd have problems if this is all you ate, similar to a diet of 100% mutton or pork. A better option is what we called the Soylent Green scenario. If you had access to a rendering machine, you could capture a greater share of the body's nutrients by transforming the entire body, bones, brains, hair, skin, organs,
into McDonald's chicken nuggets.
as well as the muscles and fat. This would boost the nutritive value of the human body close to 90% of what you'd need to live healthily. This would also work on animals, i.e. eating the entire lamb or squirrel is better for you than just the tasty bits. Continuing this discussion, we talked about the value of putrefied flesh as an energy source. Hannah says that as the body decays, the nutritive value drops as a function of decomposition. You can eat a year-old stinking zombie corpse as long as you cook it thoroughly. You lose mass with decay, and the remaining tissue becomes less valuable energetically speaking because coprophagic bacteria are consuming them, leaving waste products. So you could happily dump the most rank zombie into the aforementioned rendering machine, but your yield will decrease. The subsequent stinking zombie paste coming out the back end would be less nutritious gram for gram than ground Carl or Beth. There are
nothing about palatability here.
No. You mix with some tang.
Yeah.
You mix with some tang, you'll be all right.
Okay.
There are some nutrients the body requires but does not store, such as vitamin D. You'd still have to find ways to get this, like walking around in sunlight.
Yep.
Hannah's looking this further, and I'll let you know what she finds out. Please do. And also, I'd love to know her ground zombie recipe, because mine could use a bit more work. I mean, sriracha only does so much.
Wow.
Who am I kidding? Sriracha makes it 100% edible. Any comments on this, Jim?
That's horrifying, but kind of awesome.
David C. said, I have to call some bullshit on the cut of meat Gareth and his merry band of cannibals chose to eat. I recently ran across a video of where a backpacker should choose to cut first if he were alone in the wilderness and all he had was his buddy to eat. I thought your senses of humor would greatly appreciate the contents. Yeah, I will link this video in the show show notes. It's a video where a backpacker who does some kind of backpacking channel explains the best cut of meat on a human being. Apparently,
Yeah.
the legs are the worst. If you're wanting to preserve fresh meat, the tricep is a good area to go for, so you can remove the arm to the tricep. But the best parts of people, like the pig, are the bacon areas.
The ribs.
The stomach, the ribs, the back, and the ass. The ass also apparently is good eating.
Little rump roast.
Avoid the shoulders unless you got a crock pot in about 12 hours.
Yeah.
But anyway, check that out. It's pretty funny. He also says, have you considered doing a cast on Sons of Anarchy?
Nope.
We are too far behind.
7 seasons. There's no way we'll catch up.
It's not that I'm not interested in the show. It's just I never started watching it. The Nattercast does a really good show on that. You should check them out. Google for the Nattercast. And they do a week by week episode breakdown similar to ours. So check that out. Ed, formerly of Chicago, says, I have a quick question. Why was Tyrese and Rick digging 2 graves? I thought our group followed along the Glenn saying of bury our own, burn the rest. If that's true, who is the second grave for?
Himself.
Well, I found it interesting that why Tyrese and Rick are digging, Tyrese literally has 1 foot in the grave.
Oh, no. Andy says it killed me.
Foreshadowing.
Tyrese is dead next episode.
Foreshadowing. Ashley H. said, Aaron, I wanted to address your complaint about the comic book changes that you don't seem to understand. I don't understand. How can she get through to me, Jim? Kirkman has said on several occasions he doesn't want comic book readers to know what's going to happen next, so why that's basically no reason at all. It's his reason. I don't think that's going to change. I want to stab myself every time I listen to you compare something to the comics and you don't understand why it's different. I get it. Different, equally good would be fine, but you feel it's a lesser version. I get it, but it's not going to change. I would like to direct Kirkman to the circulation of his comic books, which last I checked were hovering around 36,000 a month, and the fucking number of people that watch Walking Dead, which last I saw was 17-something million. Who are you really trying to save here, Mr. Kirkman? This is bullshit. I get it. It's his reason. It's not going to change, but I'm going to still bitch about it.
You're saying 95% of the audience hasn't read the comic.
I'm saying 99.99% of the audience hasn't read the comic.
So what's the point in making a big reason for changing major story points that are good on their own?
Sure.
Just for the sake of sparing the few handful of people who have watched it or have read it.
Yeah. And again, I'm not pissed about them changing. I'm pissed about him substituting, and that's the thing. It's not a change. It's a fucking remix.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you killed Dale, and that's one of the reasons. But you've brought the exact same storyline that you've substituted different characters into.
Yeah. Why not just have Dale do? Unless there's something in Dale's storyline that you didn't like, and you wanted to kill him off early because he didn't even want to do that part.
Probably because Jeffrey DeMunn didn't want anything to do with the show after Frank Darabont left. I mean, if you want to get a meta,
yeah, sure.
There's a lot of
definitely heard of that
behind the scene reasons. But anyway, for the record, I'm a comic book reader that very much enjoyed this episode. I'm also glad that I didn't know what was going to happen next. But you did, Ashley. You did. Did you honestly not know that Rick was going to come in and get the drop on Gareth and butcher them all? So how much of a surprise was it?
Sure.
That it happened in the church instead of the school? I just don't, I mean...
Yeah.
And that's the thing with...
Stuff like Andrea is kind of a mix-up. I feel like, we complained about the stuff that happened with Andrea. We didn't like Andrea very much. That was a big departure from the comics.
Sure, Andrea's a badass in the comics.
Yeah. So... There are times...
Andrea is the sharpshooter that blew off Gareth's finger in the comics.
What I'm saying is there are times where they genuinely do switch things up, and that keeps her guessing.
Yeah.
And so when things do play out the way that they do in the comic books, it's not like, oh, of course they did because they have to.
Yeah.
It's more like, oh, they did decide to do that this time.
Right.
So she doesn't really know if what she expects is going to happen or not.
No, that's true.
So it makes sense.
And that's like I'm with you. Like I kind of am more engaged with the Eugene plot than I would be because there's enough of this remix stuff going on that I can't predict with certainty which way they're going to go with this.
Yeah.
So I like that. I just like if you're going to go 90% of the comic storyline, don't fuck up the 10%.
Well, we just want the part that they improvise to be better.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean...
Improvise where you want to correct mistakes in the comic.
Stella is want to call bullshit on bullshit regarding our logic. I call bullshit on your calling bullshit on any theory about this show on the grounds that it doesn't make sense. When does the show ever let something like logic or continuity or realism get in the way of moving through another 44 minutes every week? This applies to A, the zombie virus. Will it make Gareth's crew sick? Who the fuck knows? What do the writers need to do this week? That's what. B, Daryl's inability to track these guys. Sure, maybe Trucker Hat is a serious woodsman who let Carol and Tyrese sneak up on him in the woods. Sure. C, tree marks can't be hobo code because not enough people know what hobo code here in the real world. Bullshit. Just assume everyone in the world of The Walking Dead was once a fervent watcher of Mad Men pre-apocalypse. Sure, I don't know hobo code. You don't know hobo code. And hobos today probably don't even know the hobo code because they are likely... they don't likely need to signal to one another about which house to avoid or what story to tell because who the fuck lets homeless people into their homes for will work for food charity these days? But whatever, this is totally going to be the hobo code. I feel like she got me.
I'm going to pull a Watching Dead listener move here and say you're not a fan of the show, are you?
Why are you even listening to this podcast if you're going to complain about it? No.
All her points. It's tongue-in-cheek, obviously.
Stella scored a direct hit.
Yeah.
She sunk my battleship.
Yeah. Liam Neeson was on that.
Did he get... No. I'm not going to keep playing games.
Channing Tatum, I think, was also on it.
Mm-hmm. James T. said, I'm a show-only watcher, and I must say I'm having trouble not laughing at Abraham. The show is too heavy-handed in hinting that Bob was bitten, and they've made it too obvious that Eugene is full of shit. I can understand the other characters not picking up on it yet, but Abraham has been with this loser for a long time, and he still can't see it? Every time he says, we have to go to Washington, I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. Can't wait to see him cry when, if Eugene ever confesses he tricked that ginger rube. Rosita gets a reprieve on this since she isn't as gun-ho about fighting Rick to take Liar up north. It's funny because Abraham is kind of ridiculous, his character appearance and everything, and I kind of want to applaud them for just going with it. But I'm a comic book reader, and I like Abraham. You don't know Abraham. He
feels to me like a Street Fighter character. Is what he feels like.
He should be wearing suspenders with one side unbuckled.
Yeah.
And he's carrying like a big 2x4.
Yeah.
That's right, a 2x4.
2x4. Yeah, he feels like a Street Fighter character. And we talked about this in the instant cast, and it was my initial reaction to the Rick and Abraham stuff. We didn't talk about it in this cast. That was my favorite part of the episode, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Was Rick versus Abraham. Were they going to get in a fight? That tension
Who you got
was
that
real
fight?
To me. Oh, my God. Rick.
I kind of want Rick to... I kind of got Rick too. I feel Abraham's such a big dude, he's just going to wildly misunderestimate Christ. Wildly underestimate Rick. And Rick is just going to fight dirty. Like, teeth to testicles dirty. Like, no holds barred.
Like, he'll bite you.
Yeah.
He'll knee you in the crotch.
Yeah.
Gouge your eyes.
He'll put... I just said he'll put teeth on your balls. Teeth to testicles.
I missed that part.
I just steamrolled you?
Yeah.
No, teeth to testicles. He will go there. And not give a fuck.
Is it going to be like the Bob bite, where he goes through the clothes, or is he going under?
No, through, under, around.
Doesn't matter.
He's coming at those. And it's going to be...
You hear that, Abraham?
It's not just a bite. It's going to be like a great white death roll, like just...
Yeah, you clamp down and you just
start
alligator
twisting.
roll on
just
him.
Start twisting, side to side, serration. Get it in there. Abraham just...
Meanwhile, Abraham's howling.
Yeah, just screaming in high-pitched. It'd be a shit show, man.
That I would pay to see.
Rick wins
I would pay $55 to see that.
I watched Rick
TV.
rip a man's throat out with his teeth. I'm telling you, he could take Abraham.
Yeah.
Abraham, until I see Abraham rips another man's anatomy out with his teeth,
Yep.
I'm giving it to Rick.
I'm with you.
So, Tim from Australia says, I have no problem with Rick's strategy in luring the Termites into the church. I think if this group had emerged from the bushes and started shooting at Gareth and company, it would have been a riskier plan. For one thing, some of the Termites may have fled and escaped, and therefore been a danger to the group down the road. That's not a bad point. Secondly, stray bullets flying everywhere could have endangered the people inside the church, unlike the bullets flying when they were taking them down inside the church. This idea of these guys getting all together in a confined place in the dark was a great plan, especially given Rick's night scope. In terms of endangering the people still in the church, I think by this point, everyone in the group is considered a badass. They still had Tyrese, Carl, and Rosita in the church. Carl's a badass. Rosita, I'm not sure about. I've not actually seen her be a badass.
Yeah.
Tyrese might be
Not a badass.
with Father Gabriel hiding in the corner.
Yeah.
Although, if they threatened Judith, he'd at least beat the piss out of him. Might not kill him, but he'd beat the piss out of him.
Sure.
They're all more than capable of protecting themselves and Judith if necessary. This kind of bluff is also developing the Rick's favorite plan of choice, and I like that consistency. He did the same thing in the governor's crew back in the prison, which was another tactic I fucking hated. He's referring to the season 3 finale, I believe. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I don't agree at all, but
Okay.
I wanted to read the dissenting opinion.
Yeah, no, there were a lot of them. I saw.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to take representative samples of people's opinions. And it is kind of a good point about collecting them all. But again, that happened in the comic books. It just happened at the schoolyard. Rick encircled and got the drop on them and didn't put his own people at risk. That's the problem. Kells said, when listening to the instant cast and hearing that the Beth storyline was not part of the comic book, my interest was piqued. Since the writers are taking their own liberties with this storyline, do you think it's possible they will rip off Orphan Black, in which Helena was abducted by a religious cult and held captive for breeding experiments? Number one, you had me at religious cult. Number two, Kells, someone else, I guess, said that this is similar to a plot in Battlestar Galactica, a forced breeding program.
Sure. No spoilers.
Okay. Really, Battlestar. It's been over for like 3-4 years.
No, whatever. Yeah, there's a forced breeding program in that.
Okay, so that's kind of horrific.
And sure, and it was horrific in Battlestar too. Yeah,
it kind of lines up with the flip side of Terminus, yet just as oppressive and evil. Like instead of a death engine, you've got a forced life engine.
Yeah, sure. I think that might be interesting.
Man, it's just different use of human cattle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Rick says, well, you're biased, Rick. It's your group, goddammit. This episode is, should I read it in Rick voice? I don't think I can do it. I'm going to go for it.
All right.
This episode was gripping. It probably had me on the edge of my seat the most in a long time. Jim, I have to call bullshit on your analysis of Father Gabriel. You are telling me that you have never felt remorse for something and held it in. I thought this was played magically by Seth Gilliam. I didn't want to.
I'm having trouble taking this seriously.
He didn't want to share his sins, but he had just been threatened by Sasha, and now Rick, myself was in his face. His repetition of, I always lock the doors, is him trying to justify his mistake, as we all do as humans.
It was so early.
Jim, what do you think?
Are you sure he's talking to me? Did I say something in the instant cast that was like, fuck Gabriel, I don't believe anything he's saying?
That's exactly what you said.
Well, I don't remember that.
I think we both were saying that we found his performance shaky.
Yeah, and like I said, second time through, not nearly as shaky. I enjoyed it more.
Well, Rick, I admire your Python work, and I appreciate you keeping his group alive for 5 seasons. But I still think Father Gabriel's a little shaky. I think there's a difference between shaky, not sure what to do with this scene, and shaky, I'm scared because these guys are about to beat me to death, and I don't want to confront my sins. But that's just me. Patience B says, I'm new to your cast this season, and I'm already a big fan. I love this episode for the slaughter of the termites, but I'm very annoyed at Maggie and Glenn. Their reaction to the slaughter was ridiculous, especially considering Glenn would be dead if it weren't for Carol, the woman they refused to wait for. They also just left knowing that the only person who has any clue about this Beth's situation just rushed off into the night.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, I don't think Maggie even remembers she has a sister. I think she assumes she died in a prison at this point.
I think the next episode is called Beth Who. Is that right?
Can she show up in a TARDIS?
Sure, why not?
You talked about the monologues and how Rick waited too long to take out the Terminites. I think Rick's group walked in right behind them and just stayed in the dark. Maybe Rick held off until the last possible moment because he knew that the more Gareth talked, the more his evil showed. He knew some in the group were still too soft when it came to killing people, no matter how much they deserved to die, and maybe he was secretly hoping Gareth would just come right out and say, "Hey, yo, babies are tasty," or something equally horrendous. Just an idea. You know, I would say that was ridiculous, except for that is pretty much the plot of the Walking Dead video game we played last night.
Oh, yeah, no spoilers on that, because that is pretty new.
But you can get that on twitch.tv/baldmove if you want to check it out. We've actually played through all of the episodes of Season 1 and 2 of The Walking Dead during this Month of the Dead promotion we've been doing.
They'll be up on our YouTube account pretty soon as well.
Yeah.
Because they won't be on Twitch for very long.
Yeah,
just
they
2 weeks.
rotate them off weirdly.
Yeah.
If you want to get the go through the YouTube archive, it's on youtube.com/baldmove. There's a playlist for the Walking Dead stuff. So we got 400 days too.
Yeah.
The little in-betweener. Jacob S. said, I was kind of surprised you missed why Rick and his group did what they did and let the Termites into the church. It was sort of poetic justice. Remember back when they first got to Terminus, the termites let the group in to make them feel somewhat safe and that no harm would be done to them. Shortly after that, Rick's group realizes what's going on and they realize how dangerous the termites are and they are there to be slaughtered. Now moving forward to the church scene, Rick was in charge of this scene the whole time. He knew that once they left, then Gareth and his group would go into the church. Why did he take so long to get back in? He wanted to make Gareth feel like he was safe, just like they did to Rick's group back in Terminus. He's banking on Gareth's group wanting to eat the rest of the group in the church, which would keep Gareth from shooting their guns, especially if there were walkers nearby. Once Gareth and his group felt in charge and safe, then that's when Rick's headshots and a couple of Gareth's guys, or shoots headshots a couple of Gareth's guys and stays true to his promise by killing him with the red-handled machete. Jim, would you care to take on Jacob's take?
Yeah. The whole problem with this comes back to the idea that they want to eat each and every single bit of these people. Because it just can't happen that way. It can't happen that way. They know that there's going to be a gun battle. People are going to be killed, regardless of how they do this.
Also, I don't know that poetic justice is licensed enough to put your young son and daughter at risk for bloodthirsty cannibalization.
Maybe not.
Just because it's poetic.
Yeah,
it's got a nice ring to it. The symbolism and balance. It's so tasty. So tasty, Carl.
I don't know. Without rehashing all the reasons that I hated their plan on both sides, I don't know that I can address this email.
All right, let's move on. Malcolm Me said, why would the termites mow Rick's group down when they left the church? They want them for food. We're gonna dry pie.
Yeah, you got to kill some of them. You got to kill some of them. Yeah. There's no way you can get around it.
Yeah, not
because they're gonna kill you.
Yeah,
you better fucking know that.
You know they're gonna kill you.
Yeah,
this is an extinction. You have extinction on one side. You have no reason not to resist.
Yeah.
Giovanni V said, now I don't quite understand why Abraham still wanted to leave despite eliminating an imminent threat to Gabriel. Why wasn't his main reason for wanting to leave ASAP the Terminus group? So could he not have changed his mind and stayed a bit longer to see if Daryl and Carol returned? That's a good point.
Who, Abraham?
Yeah, why did he want to hide? I mean, we talked about this in the cast, but I think Giovanni's right.
I think he's itching. He's itching to go to D.C. Maybe he wants to just be done with Eugene. Like, I believe this fucker, but God, he's annoying. Let's hurry this up.
I gotta protect him, but goddamn,
yeah,
mullet. Also, a small thing, but listening to an instant cast, I did find it a bit spoilery. You guys usually warn in advance before mentioning even things from next week's preview, but there was no warning this time. I make an effort not to watch those previews at the end, so I preferred if you warned before talking about them. Thanks for the feedback, man. We got a little sloppy there. Our bad. We will do better next time.
Sure.
The instant cast, it's tough sometimes not to talk about comics and stuff, but we'll just do a better job. Apologize for that. Don't worry going forward. We got your back. Nathan P. said, in the previous episode, Rick tells Carl that you are never safe. Nowhere is safe. Why on earth would you leave both your kids in even more danger? Previously, we've seen a herd of literally flaming walkers, as well as Rick's group being attacked by Daryl's bandit group in the middle of the night. Both are potential threats in addition to the Terminite cannibals. So what does Rick do? He takes all of his toughest and most badass people in the group, even fist bump Tara, into the deep dark woods to get up to a location half a mile out while leaving the ultimate dream team at the church. Gabriel, who hasn't killed anyone. Tyrese, who won't kill anyone. Eugene, a sack of shit. What's super hilarious is he censored the word shit for our podcast. It's adorable. Okay. Rosita, who hasn't done anything since her introduction to the show. Bob, who is bit and has lost his leg. Carol, who is a kid, but in fairness, still a more badass than everyone else. And baby Judith, who only reunited with her true family 2 episodes ago, but apparently that doesn't mean anything to Rick anyway. Completely disregard what I said last week, as Judith is once again in mortal peril. No, I mean... Yeah, that's a very concise critique.
Yeah, so I'm still struggling with this shot of the church sign where Rick's group goes one way, the termites come the other way. We never see Rick's group leave the woods, right?
Yeah.
Is that to say that they're hiding in the woods waiting for them to walk by?
Yeah.
Or that they're just not dumb enough to travel right down the road in the moonlight?
No, they were waiting. I feel like they were waiting 20, 30 feet, yards to the right of where Rick exited the scene.
Okay.
Well, how embarrassing would it have been if they just, like, ran up on him?
Yeah.
Oh, pardon us.
So I don't think they were actually going to their camp then. They were just going out into the woods to take up a perimeter position.
Well, then that makes it really... I mean, that makes...
get the termites inside the perimeter.
And Gareth is a real stupid ass if he's not even checking to make sure he's going off in the right direction. But...
Hey, man.
Yeah. He also ponders, do you think the character of Beth or the actress Emily Kinney herself will be able to carry the next episode? Do you personally feel invested enough for her character that you will care about what she may be going through next time?
No, they'll have to get me reinvested. Which is not a tall order.
I was going to say, I like Beth.
Yeah,
she's important to... Well, she used to be important to Maggie. She's important to Daryl.
Yeah.
She's... I kind of am intrigued at her and Carl's relationship.
Yeah.
She's good with Judith.
Her and Daryl's relationship are... That's weird.
I don't mind Emily Kinney. It's going to be a big test, though. Yeah. I hope she's got some good writing and good direction backing her up.
Yeah.
Because... She, carrying an episode for anybody that's not named Andrew Lincoln, Chad Coleman, Norman Reedus, Melissa McBride is probably a tall order.
Denai Guerrera, I think she could.
Yeah, she could definitely. But outside those top 5, I don't know that a Glenn-centric episode or a Maggie-centric episode would be that interesting as well. So, yeah. Anyway... This episode, I know this episode was less than fresh because it brought the professional podcast critic, Daniel W.B., out of retirement.
Oh, boy. Yeah, it's bad when he comes through.
He says, this show is sailing along, doing what it does so well, and then muddled into episode 3. Some great acting from The Wire alums, but boneheaded writing just ruins everything. You're dead on the observation that both groups act like it's their first week in the apocalypse. Why not eat D'Angelo's arms first so he can walk himself around while acting as a human refrigerator? That's a good fucking
also
point.
Tastier.
That's a good point. Since everyone is infected, that's the other thing about Dale. He had lost his leg because that was another remix that they put they gave.
Oh, that's right.
Herschel Dale's leg, and they gave Bob Dale's fate, but they kept it.
And they gave Dale a cow.
Yeah, they gave him. Since everyone is infected, according to Jenner, what difference does it make if you eat tainted meat? Regardless, the potential poetic justice of their turning lasts all of 30 minutes until Rick unleashes hell on the cannibals. This silly fright tropes are getting increasingly lame as well. I'm looking through my scope as 2 zombies stealth mode into my personal space. Oh, there's a noise. I better wander into the brush for a better look. Did the Talking Dead explain all of this week's nonsense too?
I don't know.
I don't know. No, I think he's making a joke about my joke about the Talking Dead does not excuse having giant plot holes.
Sure.
Let's keep on keeping on. Thank you. It's good to hear from you again. I was worried there, Daniel. Jeff S. said, did anyone else feel like the characters are all horrified by the killings in the church, are destined to die? Is this a sign of weakness that they're unfit for the apocalypse?
No, they're still with badasses. I don't think they necessarily have to die.
Yeah, but so is Tyrese, and he's got one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel, so...
Yeah, well, we'll see about him.
Josh H. Quick
Question for you, real quick. Do they put Talking Dead episodes on the DVDs?
I don't think so.
God, they should. They're just going to sell you Talking Dead episodes, aren't they?
That's actually not a bad point. I mean, it's free content. No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's going to go back and I don't think there's any place you can watch them.
Yeah.
So they have very little value after the fact. It's something you can shovel onto a Blu-ray and
it's
justify.
A fairly big bonus feature,
Sure,
right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of content.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out when we order the DVDs for the contest winners.
And open them up and play them.
No, but we can at least read the features on the back. They can't begrudge us that, can they?
No.
Don't you fucking lay eyeballs on my prize package, you sons of bitches. Getting the itchy fingers.
Yep.
Josh H. says, I have a quick question. Do you think... actually, this is a little spoilery. Let's take this into the spoiler section.
Okay.
So, Josh H., I'm going to answer yours first. If you want to hear me talk about it, head into the spoiler section. Will you take us there, Jim? Will you lead us to the promised spoiler land?
Are we done?
Yeah, that's it.
You're not going to tell people about Facebook and Twitter?
Oh, hell yeah. If you want to send us email, I kind of want to keep us down low for weeks so my inbox can cool off.
Oh, boy.
But do it at watchingdead@baldmove.com. And, of course, we got the live thread on Facebook. That's always a rollicking good time. Facebook.com/baldmove. And you can live tweet at Jim if you got something funny to say at baldmove on Twitter.
Yep.
Boom. Spoilers.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We will be back, regardless of whether or not you like it, next week after
That is a threat.
Next week after the episode for the Instant Cast. And until then, I'm Jim.
I'm Aaron. Bye.
And we're back with the spoiler section.
Do you know what is listed prominently if you freeze frame on Abraham's map?
Atlanta.
Yes. And Alexandria.
Oh, is it? Is it in the path of the red line?
It is very near to Washington, D.C.
Oh, man.
And I'm wondering, is that near confirmation that we will get to the Alexandria safe zone at the end of this season? Else, why tease it?
Could be, yeah. And it feels like they've been moving pretty fast in the plot. I think we might have time to get there. Although I don't know exactly when that happens in the comics. I haven't read that far. And
right.
I haven't talked much about it with you. So.
Well, so, you know, I've gone back and forth about the timing of this thing. Mm-hmm. And the thing about, you got to get to Alexandria before you can bring on Negan. And Negan feels like a mid-season finale or a mid-season or a season finale even. So clearly they're not going to get to this half season. If they get to Alexandria at the end of this season, at the end of this mid-season, that's a lot of yada-yadaing through 500 miles of travel.
Sure.
That's saying they had no adventures. If you get to the end of it at the end of this season, and then you have Negan for the mid-season of 6, I could get behind that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think I would be disappointed if they just said yada yada 550 miles. It might be, you know, stretching believability a little bit that they wouldn't have a problem along the road, like meet somebody or have to fill up for gas and get in a confrontation or something.
Sure.
But I wouldn't be too sad about that. So if they went ahead and did it at the end of this season, I'd be okay.
Okay. Josh H. says, I have a quick question. Do you think that they may do the Beth episode like the Governor episodes from last year, kind of a flashback and then catching up to current? Then perhaps Daryl could have brought back Beth and Carol, or perhaps he let Carol leave and he himself found and brought Morgan back. What do you think of those ideas? Do you think that we're going to have like a 3-episode Beth arc?
I hope it's not 3. Like two at the max, but mixed in with other characters as well. Like we can't just have an all Beth episode, I don't think.
You don't think so?
No, we could have a Beth Carol Daryl episode. Sure, I think that'd be interesting.
Well, I mean, that's probably what we get, right?
Yeah. And I think they're going to have to jump back a little bit and show us, you know, at least Beth waking up and like all this stuff. And I'm hoping, based on the preview for next week, that it's going to be somebody from the hospital that pops out of the bushes with Daryl, and that he will have made contact with Beth, and Carol will still be there.
You meant baby farm, right?
But I think it's actually a hospital. The building
breeding camp.
Yeah, but the building itself is a hospital.
I'm just fucking with you.
So it would be cool if Carol was still out there, or it might be disturbing if Carol is still out there.
Yeah.
Maybe they've taken Carol hostage. And
what do you like to think about him coming back with Morgan?
That would be cool too.
I'd like to get Morgan,
but I don't think that can happen because it says several months later. Yeah, and 5 months later.
And there was this people like, well, duh. Obviously, look at the ivy. The sign had slightly more ivy crawling up it.
Okay.
And that's supposed to be illustrate the passage of time. Like, I've seen kudzu, man. It's that you wouldn't see the sign if that was it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be a mid-season kind of thing.
It could be. I just don't know how they get around the 5 months later thing, because we are not 5 months in Rick's storyline at all.
Michael McBride said, I have a really good theory. At least I think so. How about Tyrese dies? This won't happen for a while, but with Negan coming, what if instead of him killing Glenn, it's Tyrese? It would do some cleanup. It'd get rid of characters that have been long gone, and would be a nice little flip as well, and let us keep Glenn a little while longer.
But why? Why do we need Glenn longer?
I don't know. I mean, that's the
I say
thing.
let Glenn die.
The thing is, it's like, because my theory is they're going to kill Daryl, because that would actually make people flip their shit, and it would clean up some budgetary issues. And but the thing is he's got this remix mode where, like, I don't see the value, because Tyrese is supposed to be dead now. Glenn will be dead supposed to be dead once you get to the Negan storyline.
Yeah.
Andrea's supposed to still be alive. At some point, you just can't fucking undo that shit.
Rick's supposed to be missing a hand.
Sure. So, I don't know. I don't know if you can use that logic, just because it doesn't seem like Kirkman does. But I would find them beating Tyrese to death to be effective. I mean, Daryl's so iconic. And I don't think, aside from killing Rick or Carl, anything could be more shocking.
Yeah.
Tyrese and Glenn are roughly, I guess, on the same level for me. As far as effectiveness.
One level down from Daryl. Sure.
One level down from Daryl and Rick and Carl.
Yeah.
I think Rick and Carl are untouchable. I don't even consider them. So Daryl's the most shocking death that I had actually... I mean, I guess Rick would be the most shocking, but that's just not going to happen. Not
Michonne, maybe. Like, I would view Daryl or Michonne as about even...
Michonne, Tyrese, and Glenn.
We need to do a power pyramid here.
Yeah, no, those would definitely be tier 2 whole shit. And then below that is probably Maggie and Carol. Carol's up on tier 2 too, right?
Carol's pretty low now. She's sunk down a couple tiers now that her storyline is played out. Yeah.
Yeah, you might be right.
Although I don't know that her storyline is completely played out. We'll see.
Sasha's below Tyrese, Michonne, and Glenn.
Yeah.
I still, now that Bob's dead, I'm back to kind of not caring about her.
Yeah.
I thought she was getting to be interesting, and that's weird. The sum of their two parts are better than individual. Like, I didn't care Bob about him being alcoholic. I didn't care about Sasha being the sassy younger sister that's tougher than Tyrese. But when they started having some chemistry between those actors, I was like, oh yeah, I'm liking this.
Yeah.
Let's see. Alex said, I'm predicting that Daryl has come back to Rick's group with a member of the Alexander community where Beth is being kept, and that community will be taking their group in. Unless they make Alexandria a suburb of Atlanta, that just cannot happen.
Yeah.
Because we're still, you might not have known this, but if you look on the map, we're still hundreds and hundreds of miles away from there.
Yeah, Daryl can't get there and back, even on a chopper.
Or in the whatever weird-ass car he jump-started and took off in.
A Hyundai, yeah.
Was it a Hyundai?
I'm sure it was.
Late model Hyundai. I've got this pacing in, but I don't have who sent it in.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Negan at all? Do you know what he looks like?
Doesn't he look kind of like the governor?
No, he doesn't look at all. He looks like...
Then no, I have no idea what he looks like.
He looks kind of like like the governor's a scuzzy, like, evil hippie, And Negan is kind of like a clean-cut 50s biker dude.
All right, I see him now. He's bulky.
Yeah, he's bulky. And in fact, shit, this picture is not him. Someone suggested that John Hamm would be an awesome Negan.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. He'd have to put on his intimidation face.
I think he can do that, though. And also, like, because you can't play Negan straight up the way he is in the comics because of
TV won't allow it.
Yeah, you just can't. You can't have that kind of language. And my idea was, what if it's the reverse? What if he's like ultra polite, and the way he speaks, he's ultra brutal. You know, he's talking it clean, walking it mean. John Hamm would fit that clean cut image, but also could bring the rage and brutality. I would, and he's in the AMC stable. He's going to be done with Mad Men. I really like that call. So whoever sent that in, that's a brilliant casting suggestion. That's about all I got for this week, man.
Also potential Henry Rollins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you were making this on HBO, he would be damn near perfect.
Sure. All right. Is that all we got?
That's all we got, man.
Okay, cool. Then we're out of here.
Yeah, see you next week.
See you.